Okay, what's going on, guys? Another question off the question platform that I have that can be found at therobbyrowshow.com/ask. If I have very low energy in my voice right now, I apologize. I just woke up and I want to hammer these emails first thing in the morning. But today I'm just going to do the video because I wanted to work on my autofocus on my new camera because I haven't really figured it out yet. Anyways, okay, let's read this question. Hey, Robby, just wanted to ask if you had any input on this pitching issue that I've been having. For the last couple of years, I've struggled against pitching to lefty batters. I almost always miss away off the plate and frequently walk lefties on 4 or 5 pitches. Conversely, I have no issues dominating and placing my fastball against righties. As a result, I've developed sort of a mental block against lefties and have little confidence against them. Fly open against lefties and miss in the right batter's box due to the lack of a hitter in the righty's batter's box, which I subconsciously encourages me not to pitch in. I have no issues in bullpens either. Thanks for your help and sorry for the long read. Okay, so I'm assuming this individual is a righty due to the flying open comment against lefties. Yeah, so what it sounds like, again, this answer isn't a right or a wrong answer. This is kind of my take on this. I've kind of had this at certain points in my career. Actually, it was the opposite, where I felt more comfortable facing lefties than I did righties because I wasn't, consistent. I was throwing at a lower arm angle, and I always felt like I was just going to hit the righty because he was arm side, so every time a lefty came up, it was like that breath of fresh air. So yeah, man, I think a lot of people kind of go through these things and face that sort of a mental block. And as soon as that kind of thought creeps in, it's there, and it's super hard to just push that thought away, right? I feel like that's such a common thing in sports, especially with the mental side of it. The mental performance side of it is once that's present, it doesn't go away, even though the human thought process or the human characteristic towards facing that challenge is to try to put that thought away. And I think that's the exact opposite of how it actually should work. It shouldn't be an effort thing. It shouldn't be an emphasis thing, because emphasis for mental things turn more activation on in the brain. So sorry for getting nerdy there, but yeah, so basically my encouragement, and it's funny, my first big league camp was St. Louis, humble brag. I was talking to Mike Leake about his performance, and when you go out and watch Mike Leake pitch, it's just puts the ball where he wants, just goes out there and have fun. It's easy for him, right? And I remember just really enjoying a conversation with him and just getting his mindset on it. And he just simply asked me some questions about my bullpen. He's like, well, when you throw bullpens, what does your bullpen look like? Do you struggle you struggle in a game? Are your misses the same, or are you whatever? And I was like, no, dude, when I throw a bullpen, I'm nails, I put the ball where I want. And he goes, what changes? He's like, honestly, what changes from the bullpen to the game in terms of the task? And I was like, what do you mean in terms of the task? He's like, well, the task is the same. You're trying to put the ball exactly where you call the ball to go and move, right? Throwing a fastball away, that's the task. In a game, he calls fastball away. That's the same task. Why does it differentiate? Well, there's something on the line, right? And he goes, well, he's like, I mean, when I pitch, it's just the same thing as the bullpen. And I was like, wow, you talk about simplicity, right? Turning the game into a very simple action. Wow, that's fantastic. But I really took that to heart. And then I started, I don't know, becoming more intentional with, okay, throwing my bullpens, boom, 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 nails. And then as soon as I get to the game, I was like, dude, it's just a bullpen. And I kind of had that mindset about it. And I really focused on locking in to the mitt and having this kind of tunnel vision, if you will, in terms of okay, there's the mitt, this is the pitch, and now I know where to set my sights for a specific pitch. I know my personal cues to go to for a specific pitch, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a bullpen. And I think the higher you go and the more you pitch and the more you play this game and so on and so forth, that's kind of the mindset. Obviously, there's scouting reports and whatnot that goes into it, but that's honestly the way that it kind of you start approaching it in terms of it doesn't matter who's in the box. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, tunnel vision, boom, that's my sequence, let's go. Right. And this is something that I struggle with too, is like I put so much emphasis on like sequencing and who's in the box and scouting reports and weaknesses and strengths and all this that I kind of get away from myself. But yeah, man, I mean, everyone's going to kind of go about certain mental blocks differently. I would encourage you to, you know, when you throw your next bullpen, like really identify like, okay, why are things going the way that I want? Why can I throw a ball there? Why can I throw a ball there? And then, you know, obviously when you get into a game and that lefty steps in, you know, it's that thought is present. But if you can really, I think the process for you is really being mindful and locking in to like where that target is, putting together a simple process of pre-pitch, breath work, whatever, and like not paying any peace of mind to the hitter, what frickin' side of the plate he is, because I'm sure I speak from a lot of different perspectives. If you're a pitcher, when we've been at our best, we've been in that zone, right? That flow state zone where there's no external factor. It's just frickin' let's go, dude. Like, it doesn't matter who's coming in. It could be frickin' Mike Trout. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm on my game, tunnel vision, breath, let's go. It doesn't matter. And I think if we can really, you know, start thinking about that in terms of just a process that you put together for yourself that sets you up for success every single pitch. And that's why I'm super passionate about like pre-pitch process. You know, being intentional with a pre-pitch process. I think a lot of people kind of just like look past that and just be like, all right, well, like, what does my catcher want? I'm just throwing to throw and like whatever. And obviously it's more advanced. You know, I don't expect like a 10-year-old to just have this super in-depth professional pre-pitch process. That's a lot of P's. But, you know, it holds true for guys, you know, going in like high school, college, professional. Start identifying a specific process that you can revert to over and over again that sets you up for success. Like I said, man, a lot of things with baseball, a lot of things with pitching. It's like there's no right answer. I wish there was. It would make my job a lot easier. But I can just speak from personal experience, give you my 2 cents, and hopefully you can take something from that. I would really encourage you, especially like start training it too, right? Like throw your flat grounds, have someone come in the lefty batter's box, stand in, just get to the point where you're getting more comfortable and you're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations over and over again. You're hammering repetitions in that. Eventually it'll subside. Hopefully you got something from that. Sorry that was long and drawn out, but I'm on video, so hopefully my beard looks good. Probably doesn't because I haven't shaved in a while. And by shaved, I mean trimmed because I'm growing a beard back out. Holy smokes, coffee's good. Talk to you later.